everyone. I've been on YouTube for a long time now. I'm almost 11 years now. And over the years, I've had my fair share of unpopular opinions. I've done a lot of reviews, but I think what I'm about to say may be my most controversial opinion yet. It's not easy for me to say this, but I don't like Super Mario 64. Okay, I know. I'm a horrible person. I hate one of the most popular games of all time. So, why don't I like Super Mario 64? Well, before I get into my negatives, let's start with my positives, because I don't hate this game or think it's bad. In fact, far from it. I actually think there's many aspects that deserve praise. Right off the bat, I have to mention the fantastic music. Super Mario 64 has one of the best soundtracks in any game ever. I also love the hub world of Peach's castle and that you jump into paintings to access the courses. That's really cool. And a lot of the courses are very memorable. Beaumont Battlefield is a classic course, as well as Whomp's Fortress. Cool Mountain is one of my favorites, as well as Lethal Lava Land. But by far my favorite course in the game, at least in terms of an aesthetic standpoint, is Big Boo's Haunt. Every detail of the course is amazing. The background, the haunting atmosphere, it's both beautiful and creepy at the same time. Another positive before we get into the negatives is the boss fights, which are my favorite part in terms of gameplay. They're very memorable, and they're by far the most fun stars to get. Big Bob-omp, Whomp King, Big Boo, the creepy eye that follows you, Big Bully, Wiggler, and iRock are all so much fun. But the best and most fun boss fights in the game are the Bowser fights, where you literally throw Bowser by his tail into bombs. And now let's get into my negatives. First of all, the controls aren't the best ever, and I don't think they hold up all that well. For example, it seems that every time I try to do a long jump, I always end up fucking it up at first because you need a specific running start in order to pull it off. It's not terrible, but the controls can be pretty annoying at times. I also hate the water courses because I can't stand the swimming in this game. Also, the camera is garbage. But my biggest problem with Super Mario 64 is that other than the boss fights that I mentioned, I don't find very many of the star missions to be very fun. There's a few stars that I think are fun to get, but for the most part, I really did not enjoy the missions, and that's pretty bad considering that's the goal of the game, to collect all the power stars. And again, I know I'm in the minority with that opinion, but that's just the way I feel. The courses themselves are very memorable, but the star missions within them are pretty forgettable for the most part. Now, there's also power stars that you can find within Peach's castle, like certain toads will just give power stars, and missions that introduce you to power-ups in the game, like the Wing Cap, Metal Cap, and Vanish Cap. I like the Metal Cap and the Vanish Cap, but I absolutely hate the Wing Cap. It's so hard to control, and I can't seem to get the hang of it. There's also the iconic secret slide in the castle, which is always fun. But that's my opinion on Super Mario 64. There's a lot of positives, but there's also a lot of negatives, and in my opinion, the negatives outweigh the positives. I understand the importance of this game. It's a very significant game that will always be remembered and looked back on fondly, and that's great. I'm glad this game exists, and we wouldn't have a lot of the games we have now without it. But other than the boss fights, I don't get very much enjoyment out of it. I'm gonna give Super Mario 64 a 5 out of 10. So that's why I don't like Super Mario 64. Again, I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think that, it's horribly made or anything. Like, I can understand why it's one of the most popular games of all time. Like, I'm not saying that other people should hate this game and, here's why this game is bad. I'm just kind of trying to explain to you why I personally don't get much enjoyment out of it. And really, if you want the short answer on why I don't like Super Mario 64, it's really because it's more of an exploration type game. Besides the hints that the names of the stars give you, you're kind of on your own for the most part. You kind of have to really figure out what you have to do. And I'm just not really a big fan of that type of gameplay. I know many people are, and that's completely fine. I can understand why other people would like that style of gameplay, but I just personally was never a fan of that style of gameplay. I'm more a fan of, here's your goal, and do that goal. And yeah, I know I might get clowned for that opinion, but yeah, that's just how I feel. But hey, we're finally heading into the 3D territory. I'm going to be reviewing more 3D games now. So yeah, I'll have a lot more things to say, hopefully, and the games will be much more interesting to talk about from here on out. And hey, I'm done with all the Sonic Game Gear games, so it's not like I have any more of those to review.
Not so fast.
Who the hell said that? Sonic? What the hell are you doing here?
I'm just here to inform you that you still have one more Game Gear game to review.
You're kidding.
Nope, it's Sonic Blast.
Oh god. I mean, I don't know if I can even take another Game Gear game.
Well, unfortunately for you, it's been known to be one of the worst Game Gear games, so good luck.
Oh, son of a bitch. Well, you heard it from him. Next time I'm going to be reviewing Sonic Blast, and this time it'll be my last Game Gear review. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.